mending our nets. Life gets busy, our nets get full, and sometimes they break, whether it's because of people, ourselves, or just circumstances. It's very important we take time to mend our nets. And today I want to focus on one of the ways we can mend our nets is not only, as we heard on Tuesday, letting our yes be yes and our no be no, but actually being very purposeful and allowing our yeses to have a purpose, to make sure we are prioritizing our yeses, because that's exactly what Jesus did. He was still in a human body, and there were so many demands on him, on his physical body, and on what he was doing, but he was still very specific on what his yes was, and being able to prioritize those yeses. You know, Dorothy says, under all his gentleness, there is a purpose harder than steel. Jesus was crazy purposeful. Even when the crowds were trying to demand something from him, he knew how to prioritize. And I want to share this one example when he gets to come and pray for Peter's mother-in-law. And it's found in Mark chapter 1 verse 29, where it says, "And once he left the synagogue and went into the house of Simon Peter and Andrew, accompanied by James and John. Now Simon, which is Peter's mother-in-law, had for some time been lying sick with a fever. And at once they told him about her. And he went up to her, took her by the hand, and raised her up. And the fever left her, and she began to wait on them. Now when it was evening, after the sun had set, they brought to him all who were sick and those under the power of demons, until the whole town was gathered together about the door. And he cured many who were afflicted with various diseases, and he drove out many demons, but would not allow the demons to talk, because they knew him. And in the morning, long before daylight, he got up and went out to a deserted place, which we heard about yesterday, and there he prayed. And Simon Peter and those who were with him followed him, pursuing him eagerly and hunting him out. And they found him and said to him, 'Everybody is looking for you.' And he said to them, 'Let us go on to the neighboring country towns, that I may preach there also, for that is why I came out.'" Here we see Jesus is busy. He's doing what is needed at that moment, and yet he's not hounded or even bullied into staying where he doesn't want to stay. He prioritizes his yes, where he says to Peter, "I'm going on to the next town. I can't just stay here with these people. I need to do what my Father says." And that was something so important. Jesus knew what his instructions were from his Father, from spending time with him. And he was about doing his Father's business. We find that in Luke chapter 9, verse 51 to 52, it says, "Now when the time was almost come for Jesus to be received up to heaven, he steadfastly and determinedly set his face to go to Jerusalem. And he sent messengers before him, and they reached and entered a Samaritan village to make ready for him." Here we see that he was determined. Jesus was steadfast. He knew what he needed to be done. And in John 17 verse 4, he says it so beautifully, "I have glorified you down here," talking about his Father on earth, "by completing the work that you gave me to do." We know that Jesus prioritized his yes. There was a need so great. We know there are needs around us. We know our nets can get very full, but let's prioritize our yeses so that we are mending our nets for bigger fish and a bigger catch. Always remember, you are highly favored and deeply loved.